Hello and welcome to KVCore 101. My name is Michael, and in this video, we're going to go through the 6 things that you see on the screen here. First, I think you should set up your profile. Anytime you're out there and you're sending emails, calls, texts, etc., we need your picture in it. We need contact information. We need a signature. So we'll go through setting up your profile. Once we do that, we're going to jump into the Smart CRM. When you take a look and you survey top producers who make over $250,000 a year in income, and you say, hey, what tips would you give a new agent? Consistently, or at least the majority answer is get a database and put it in a system where you can systematically manage it. We're going to go through that today. KVCore is a fairly complex system, does have a learning curve. Some of the stuff's automated, so we're going to go in, edit those automations. You only have to do that once, and then it'll be set up the rest of the time you use it. And the same goes for your website. So what I love about KVCore, it's all synced. So if someone visits your website, it automatically will go into your CRM, which can automatically have behavioral automation stuff occur. So we'll take care of all that. And then I want to leave you guys today on a couple things that you can leave with nuggets and say, I can go build my business right now. It's always a pet peeve of mine when I sit in some type of a company webinar or something like that. I'm like, did I leave with something that I can implement immediately? And here you will. So if you're not sending out the monthly newsletter, hopefully all of you can go in and send that out today. In less than 60 seconds, you can send out a newsletter to everyone in your database via KVCore. Super simple, super easy. It's just a great way to stay top of mind. And that's what you guys want in this industry. You want to stay top of mind. You want to get to about 100 people that whether they're at a bar or church or wherever they are, someone says, do you know a good agent? And they're like, yes. This Mike Hall guy emailed me a newsletter every month. I remember it. Oh, and it's easy for me to send you his info. Let me just go forward the newsletter to you. There's no reason to not be sending out a newsletter. Doesn't matter if you send it out online. Doesn't matter if you send it out via snail mail. People still love getting mail at the home, but we'll be able to at least go show you that today. And then lastly, we're going to leave you with boosting a post. So I don't know if you guys are aware, but our new policy for this year is you can boost any Red One Realty listing anytime. So we're going to go in, we're going to show you how to find it. We're going to show you how to boost it. And really in less than 60 seconds, you can go out there and start generating online leads while you continue to do the important things like work your sphere, build your database, and let technology work in the background. So we'll go ahead and get started. To get started, you'll go to kvcore.com/login, kvcore.com/login. You'll use your email address that we have on file for you. And your default password is going to be 123456. So let me go ahead and jump over here and take a look at that. Let me just minimize my video screen here. All right, so once you're in KVCore, the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to go in and you're going to set up your profile. So on the top right-hand side, you're going to click the email address, and then you're going to go down to My Profile. Because everyone has the same password, the first thing that we want you to do before starting to put in your customer information, we want you to go in and change your password. So you'll click on Actions and you'll change the password. So change it to something unique. That way no one can get in there. And you shouldn't be putting extremely confidential information in there. We don't want you getting bank account numbers and we don't want you getting social security numbers, but we still don't want people to get your contact list. So phone numbers, emails. So go in there, click Actions, and change that password. Next, you're going to go in and you're going to edit your overall profile. I use mine for training, so I don't think mine's fully set up, but I'll go through and make sure that you guys know what to go in and set up. So obviously you're going to put your name in here. If you use something other than your licensed name, you're going to need to get a nickname permission from the division. It's a form on the Ohio Division of Real Estate's website. It's $15 for the year. And then you can use a nickname. They just have to approve it. So my name is Michael. I go by Mike. I had to get that approved because it's not what's on my license. Next, it's going to ask for your title. So I recommend you put realtor in there. If you want to put licensed agent in there, you can. If you want to put real estate guru, you can. So this is whatever title you give yourself. Certainly put that in there. On the left here, you'll be able to click and upload your high school glamour shot. Some of you are very new, so they're very recent, but some of you have, including myself, have several-year-old profiles. Upload your profile picture there. And then we're going to get into the agent MLS ID and the NRDS number. So for most of you, that should start with a 658. So if you're not getting listings or your listings aren't showing up on your website, normally this is the culprit right here. You need the CR dot. This is how you log into the MLS. And for those of you that are very new, you'll get this when you pay your MLS fees. So pay your MLS fees, and this is your National Realtor Database number. You'll get that. You'll need that the rest of your real estate career, along with your license number. Get that, learn that. You'll be asked for it consistently. So this is exactly how it should be set up. MLS ID has a CR dot, NRDS does not. Once you go down through here, make sure that some of this is just pertinent to you. Make sure your cell phone number is correct. Click the button that says show on site. If you have a number in these other ones, make sure this button is selected. You don't want your people visiting your website and calling our office. If they call our office on one of your properties, we're going to send it to you. But if someone just calls in and says, hey, I'm interested in buying a property in Gahanna, we're just going to send it to the next agent in the round robin format. So we want you getting all your leads 100% of the time. Don't market our office number. Don't market our smart number. Just market your contact number. Market your email address. Make sure that's in there. By default, everyone's website is going to be their name.redonerealty.com. If you have a different website, you can always add that as well. Over here to the right is all of your social media. So I try to consistently have mine all be the same thing. So I know mine is facebook.com, if I could spell, /broker Mike Hall. And my Twitter is @broker Mike Hall. And my LinkedIn is LinkedIn /and/broker Mike Hall. You get the idea. You guys should do the same thing. Try to be consistent in your branding, whatever that is. You can use agent and anything. You can use, Columbus agent, but you cannot use realtor. You can't say Columbus realtor. Realtor is protected. Can't be geographic or anything like that. So you can use it with your name. So if it's available, and if I was selling real estate today, it'd be facebook.com /realtor Mike Hall, Twitter @realtor Mike Hall, LinkedIn realtor Mike Hall, YouTube. That way everything's just consistent. So try to get some consistent branding so they can easily find you if they're looking for you online. As you're going down through here, go ahead and add your license number. It's not required for anything, but it's just nice that they see your license. I believe you can select realtor in this as well. So you go down through here, select your position. All these are going to show on there. And then obviously, if you have any spoken languages or designations, you're going to go in and put that on there as well. And then the about me needs to be filled in because people are searching for you online. They need to go in and find you, and you need to write an about me. And I think it should be some professional and some personal. This is a relationship-based business. People definitely are going in there and searching for you as you have listing appointments or people are referring you. And our websites rank pretty well. So once you've been out there, the website's been out there for a while, especially 1 year, it's going to be in your top 10 results when someone searches realtor your name. So to make sure it's a good website, your profile pic set up, and the about me section is mandatory. So it has to be on there. KVCore says you should have it, so there's nothing we can do to take it off. So you don't want it to be blank when someone goes there. So write your bio. Obviously, you can write the personal stuff. And then I think whenever we get into the business stuff, somewhere in our Facebook group, we posted some information about, like a top 10 bios. So this is how you go into our Facebook group and just search it. So you don't always have to make a post. Maybe you want to go in and search for bio. And when I do that, somewhere down through here we go. Here's 10 knockout examples of a bio. So take a little bit from each one, kind of make it your own and go from there. And then lastly, we want to make sure that you have a signature. So I think it's okay if you just type it in. But to me, I like using wisestamp.com. And that's just WISESTAMP.com. So it automatically formats it for you. There is a free version. It just has, the information at the bottom. But once you click on it, it's pretty much just going to have you go in and put your information in on the left-hand side. And this will look like this, like Jason Erickson has here. So this is an option for free. The free option just says, hey, this is created by Ystamp, which I don't think is a big deal. And then there's a paid version that removes that bottom line. But what's nice about it, it embeds the photo in, so it's not an attachment. It formats it all for you, so you don't have to worry about that. And it will link to your social media profiles, which is great, especially if you're posting real estate information and allowable information on your social media profiles. I forget how much it costs to upgrade. Every time I go there, it gets more expensive. So $5.80 a month. So I'm going to check the chat in just a moment to see if there's any questions about getting the profile set up. Just a quick reminder, when you go in there, you're going to click your email address on the top right, go to My Profile. First thing is change your password, then click the blue edit in the middle and go down through here and be as thorough as possible, adding a bio, adding a signature at the bottom, and then making sure that you hit save once complete. So pretty easy, pretty simple, pretty straightforward. If there's any questions, add those over in the chat. All right, here we go, moving on. Next on our list, we're going to go into the Smart CRM. I think the Smart CRM is the most important thing that KVCore offers you. I know lots of agents are like, oh, I need a website. I need a website. Well, in this world, most people aren't going to find your website unless you market it to them. I would be more inclined to say you need a CRM, you need a CRM, you need a database in your CRM. So over on the left-hand side, we're going to click on Smart CRM, and we're going to go through and cover a few things regarding the Smart CRM. So once it comes up, pretty basic, pretty simple, just some things I want to point out here. You can mass email, mass text, send out video messages, a lot more options. Anytime you're going to do things on a mass scale, you can do it at 100 at a time. So you should drop that down and have 100 in there. That way you can do it. And it only allows you to do 100 at a time, because if you email more than 100 people at a time, most of the time it goes to junk or spam or the promotions folder in Gmail. So you can easily go in here and mass email, mass text, send video messages. The video messages, I think you only get 10 for free, and then you have to pay for it per month. And certainly some other things there as well. Adding hashtags is a great one to do in bulk. So let's say you had everyone in there as a, someone you wanted to send the newsletter to. You can add a hashtag and add hashtag newsletter. So when you do add hashtags, it's important that you do not add the hashtag here. So you come in, you click the green to add it, and then you would click update tags. I'm not going to for this example, but then when I go back to search for people, then it see where it says here tags begin with a hashtag. Then I would search hashtag newsletter. And then I could just pull everyone up that had that hashtag. So maybe you want to sort it by past client, maybe you want to sort it by buyers or sellers or family or past coworkers, because you might want to send out different mass messages to different groups. That's certainly how you do that. In addition to that, you can go in and easily change the status. So if people are new leads and I want to change this to something else, and I say, well, Beth is not a new lead anymore. Now she's a prospect. That's how you go in and change that. You can also sort by star rating. So right now, if you only have 1 or 2 clients, you're thinking, well, no big deal. Let's say you have 30 or 40 people in your pipeline, all at different stages. You can put them at different star levels and then sort this by star level. So if you only have an hour of prospect, you say, hey, let me start with my 5-star people, then go to 4-star. And if I run out of time, then tomorrow I'll start with my 2-star people. Shows you all the activities, shows some information about it here. And then we will, let's just go in here and take a look at Beth very quickly. So when Beth comes in, you'll see the information that's over on the left. You'll see what she looked at coming in. So I don't really do anything. It should have been removed from these leads, but it was from a while ago. So the lead comes in, it goes round robin, shows what she's looking for. It's going to automatically text. It's going to automatically email. I'm going to show you how to go in, and they can also automatically unsubscribe. which is certainly okay. And you can see I changed the star rating. It puts a note on there for everything. Once I'm in the contact, I can call, email, text, add notes, voicemail drop, send videos. Everything is in here. If they want to come in and they say, hey, I'd like to unsubscribe, you can unsubscribe them. This person has already unsubscribed themselves. So you can go in and take a good look at the particular client's profile. So I want to show you how to add a contact and how to go in and add a bulk contact. So the first thing you'll do to add an individual contact is click this green box that says add a contact. Now, as a brand new agent, one of the first thing I challenge you to do is to get 30 contacts in KVCore with a note on them that says you called them and told them you're a real estate agent. Because you're probably thinking you posted to Facebook and everyone knows you're an agent. And that's just not the case. We know that we don't see everyone's Facebook post. So we want to make sure that you can go out there and systematically say, I know I told George and Bob and Kevin and Dave. So that's how you do it. You systematically put them in here and put a note so you know you told them, so that when COVID's over, you don't go to their 4th of July party. Hopefully it's over by 4th of July. And you go there and you see another company's sign in the yard. So let's go through the process here. We're just going to put in John Doe, his email address, his cell phone. And then I'm going to give the system permission to email, call, and text him. If you don't do this, you certainly can't do it from the system. And then depending on the type of lead he is, I'll put that in. If he's just someone in my sphere, he's not a buyer or a seller or another vendor, I'm just going to put them in as renter, since I really don't work with renters. That way I can know, hey, everyone I pull as a renter is just someone in my sphere. And this next part is very important. You want to take a look at the lead status. So I'm going to pause on this part for just a moment. When you put them in there under lead status, we're going to do different automatic behaviors later for new leads versus prospects versus sphere. So everyone that you don't want automation for, that you want to do it yourself, put them in under sphere. And I think when it's your sphere, you don't want the automated system texting them. Like if your sister's in there and it's like, hey, I'd love to meet you, your sister's going to call you and say, what in the world are you doing? So think of your sphere as people that it's individual touches by you that a generic automated system just isn't going to work with. So for everyone in your database, your sphere, we're going to put them in there. But for online leads, I think those automatic touches are great. So we're going to leave those automatic leads as new contacts or a new lead. That way they can go in there. So for individual ones that you put in that you know really well, put them in under sphere. And I'm going to take a quick break and answer a couple questions in the chat. Can you import from Outlook or Google? Teresa, yes, you can, but what you have to do is you have to export it as a CSV first. And then once you export it as a CSV, you can then import it as a CSV in here. And we will go through that bulk import in just a moment. What number does it send for text when we send through KVCore? Great question. We're going to talk about that in a minute, but we'll address it now. It's going to send the smart number. So KVCore doesn't have permission from AT&T and Verizon and everyone else to record the texts and phone calls. So it uses its own number. It's a smart number that we all use. So you never want to advertise the smart number, but it is smart enough to know that if that particular person's phone number is in your KVCore and you were the last one to communicate or put it in, when you send the message out and they reply back to that smart number, it's going to come to you in KVCore and go to your phone. So never advertise it, because then it would be round robin format. But if you text them or call them from that number, if they call it back and text it back, that's what makes it smart. It goes right to your cell phone. Tina says, when someone unsubscribes, does KVCore automatically exclude them from future mass communication? Yes, it does. Very can spam compliant, like that person that unsubscribed. When I try to email everyone that's in there, it will not go to them. When I try to mass text everyone that's in there, it will not go to them. Automatic, one button click. If they do respond to you and they say unsubscribe or stop, that does not automatically happen. You have to go in and take that action. But if they click the unsubscribe button, yep, automatically excludes them. Great questions. If you have questions, please post them in. I'll try to stop every couple minutes and answer those. So if you have a question, there's probably someone else that does too. All right, so we got that important part about the sphere, making sure that that's the lead status. The rest of this is pretty optional as you get down through here. You don't have to put the lead source in. If you want to, great. Like if you're paying for realtor.com leads or KVCore leads, or you want to track how many leads are coming in from Op City that you closed, then if it came from somewhere, great, put it in. Smart campaign, I'm going to show you how to add campaigns in just a moment. But I want to come down here to notes. And this is where I'm challenging you to get to 30 people that have this. And it says, talk to John and told him I was an agent. And as a brand new agent, if you're sitting there wondering how in the world do I find people, this is the easiest thing to do. It should be comfortable. It shouldn't make you too uncomfortable. I think asking for a referral is that next step. But this is just calling John and saying, hey, John, it's been a while since we spoke. Want to touch base, find out what's new with you. How's the COVID world doing? How's the family, dogs, etc. And eventually, John's going to ask you what's new with you. And you say, well, you know what? In this crazy world, I decided to go get my real estate license. There are so many people just looking for new homes. I want to be able to help. Now, that's all you do. I think that's great on the first call. For bonus points, you say, and John, by the way, there's a lot of families right now that can't find homes. I don't know if you've heard, there's almost no inventory out there in the market. Of all the people you know, who do you know that would likely move next? And then ask for that referral. So if you just go in and tell 30 people that you know that you're a real estate agent, the agents call me in a panic and they're like, oh my gosh, Mike, someone wants me to show them a home, or someone wants to talk about listing a home. I'd much rather you have that problem than hear crickets and have no one working with. We can help you. We have a team that will help you. Get through this process. Let your sphere know. Don't be a secret agent that no one knows you're an agent. If you're a secret agent, you're not going to make any money in this business, and you're not going to help people build wealth by buying homes in America. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and click on Add Contact. And once I do that, there's lots of things here. I know we talked about them a little bit before, but you can see the phone number. You can see the email address. And they don't have really anything else. But I'm going to go ahead and add a campaign. So I could go in and add a campaign. So let's pretend this was a new lead versus someone in my sphere. So I'd go in and I'd add a default active buyer campaign. So if they're an active buyer, the system is going to text them. The system is going to email them. It's going to help them through that nurture process. And it's going to prompt you to make the phone calls. If you make these phone calls, most of the time for these online leads, we're seeing 5 to 6% conversion ratios instead of 2 or 3. So if you have online leads, the system, auto text, auto emails, and if you make the phone calls, you should be able to go in there and convert 5 to 6% of them. If not, your average is going to be closer to 2. And it doesn't sound like a big deal going from 2 to 6, but that could triple the income on your online leads. Some other things, I don't like the reports quite as well here as I do RPR. So if you've not been in RPR, go to FlexMLS, log into RPR and take a look at those reports. They're just a lot prettier, a lot more charts and graphs. You can call right from the system. So if I click on new call, it says, hey, is this the number to call? Call. And then what will happen is your phone will ring and then their phone will ring. So you can call right from the system. You don't have to have a headset. If a call is due to the person, it'll say task due. You come in here and you can log the call. And if you want to call direct from your cell phone, that's certainly okay. Dial the number and then come in here and log the call. Talk to John, ask for a referral, no one at this time, and then put notes in here. If John says he just got a puppy named Brutus, boom, put that in. If John says, yeah, we just canceled our trip to the Bahamas, boom, put that in. And then the next time we go back here and we take a look at the notes, and I call John in, a month or a quarter, whenever it is, next time I talk to him, and I say, hey, did you ever rebook that trip? That's the best way to build relationships. People like talking about themselves. Let them talk about themselves. Ask them about themselves. That's a much better way to build relationships and get referrals instead of you going out there touting yourself. I'm so great. I'm a good realtor. Look what I did. I. It's not all about you. It's about them. Build the relationship with them. We can't possibly remember everything about everyone, so put them in the system. So you can send the call, send the text the same way. There are lots of canned responses in here, just text that he says, hey, here's different things. You can also program your own. So I'll go in and show you how to do both of those momentarily. Send a text. You can just add a note right here. I think we may have covered that. These two you have to pay for. So I think they're about 30 bucks a month, but the voicemail drop allows you to send out bulk voicemail. So it does have to be a cell phone number. And then let's say interest rates are going down or up, or you want everyone to know, you can go into your KVCore, you can pull up everyone that maybe is a buyer because you put the tag on there that said they're a buyer. So you just come in here, you say, hey, I want to search hashtag buyer. I'm going to select all of them. You can see I have no buyers. If I was selling real estate, they'd all be, if it was a buyer, it'd be hashtag buyer. Then you could mass text them and say, hey, rates have dropped, mass voicemail drop. I think that might be down here. Yep, send voicemails or send a video. Video is extremely powerful. Let me see if I can go back to our friend John Doe. Some of the coaches out there that charge $750 per hour are giving away this one tip right now to help you convert more online leads. And they're saying you should text a video to them. So as we know, most of the time when an online lead comes in, we call the person, they see an unknown number on their phone and they don't pick it up. It's hard. Most consumers don't pick up their phone, and a lot of realtors don't pick up their phone when it's an unknown number too. I know because I call lots of realtors. You should definitely pick up your phone as long as you're available to. The typical consumer is not going to, but here's what the top coaches are telling them to do. Text the video over real quick. So you can record that video. You can go in here, easily text it out, and it says, hey, my name is Mike Hall with Red One Realty. You're recently on my website. I'm a local real estate professional that helps people in the whatever area, Westerville area. And you'll be getting a phone call from me in just a moment at 614-937-4162. No pressure. Just want to see what I could do to help. Look forward to talking to you in 5 minutes. Boom. They text that video over. And then in 5 minutes, they call, giving them an opportunity to see. And they say the pickup ratio jumps through the roof when they see the person, they hear their inflections, their tone. They say they're a local person, it helps in their area. So maybe try that, try recording it. And if you're from a generation that says video has to be perfect, we are past that, especially in a COVID world. And you know, the millennials and younger, they use video every day. So even for myself, it's tough to get used to it. So I'm just going to start doing more video. You should start doing more video. Video works. So try video texting. You can do it right from KVCore. Let me see what's on my list as well. Adding a contact, great. Adding the campaign. So I showed you how to add the campaigns. We're going to get into what those campaigns look like in the behavior automation portion of this. And then I want to show you how to add bulk contacts. So let me show you how to add bulk contacts. So if you have them and you've exported them from Google or you've exported them from Outlook or another CRM anywhere, it basically has to be in a CSV sheet. A CSV is very similar to Excel. So you have it in Excel, you just hit File, Save As, and save it as a CSV. But I think there's even a little video here that shows you as well. But for the bulk import, you're going to go to Lead Engine. Once you're in Lead Engine, you're going to see the bulk import right here. Click on the Get Started. And from there, there's two videos that really show you how to get started. So the first one is let KVCore handle it. If you say, look, technology is not my friend. I have this Excel file. I don't even know what CSV is, but I have it and they're all separated. You can send this to KVCore and within 3 days, they'll upload it for you. So if that's what you want to do, fantastic. If not, if you want to do it yourself, I'm going to show you how to do it. There's a video here that shows you how to do it a little bit more detailed, but all you'll do is upload that CSV. You're going to click Get Started Now. You're going to browse. You're going to look for a CSV. I don't know that I have a CSV anywhere that is going to make sense, but you're going to browse and upload it. And here is a template. Let me see if that will pull up what we're looking for. Take a look for the actual file. I don't know if it's going to show me one, or if so, I looked over it too quick. No, that's going to open a video. All right, so you basically need, you know what Excel looks like. So you're going to have a column named first name, a column named last name. You definitely need to separate the columns. First and last name cannot be in the same column. So a column with first name, a column with last name, a column with phone, a column with email, and a column with category. So that's the bare minimum that you need to put in there. And it needs to have headings, and then under those headings, have that information. And then there's other ones that you could have, and it can be, notes. Notes is a great one. So if you put a notes category in, that'll automatically come in and put it in notes. And then what happens when you try to upload it through KVCore, it's going to try to match them. Here's that match fields. And it says, well, you called it name and we call it first name. Yes, that matches. You called it last name, we call it last name. Great. You called it number, we called it cell phone. So you just match those up and then import. But there's a little video here that shows you how to do it. So just go to Lead Engine, watch this quick video when you do it, and it's pretty simple. And I'll show you how to get them in a proper CSV format, and very easy, very simple once it's done. And if you say, hey, I don't want to mess with it, boom, submit that file over to them, and in 3 days, they'll take care of that for you. So big challenge, get 30 people in here. Once you get 30 people in here, continue growing your database. Your database is either growing or dying. Sometimes literally, and sometimes unfortunately, people in your database die, but some of the rest of them get licensed, their family gets licensed, they move away, they lose contact. So you can't just get 100 people in here and quit. Get 30 people in here quick, continue building it, networking, adding new people. Whenever you get someone new, come in here and systematically add them. Keep in touch. We'll show you how to send out the newsletters to keep in touch with them as well. Let me know if you have questions, comments, or any opinions about the CRM before we move on to the behavioral automation. Teresa, there is no charge. KVCore will do it for free. So you just send them that file and they will do it at no cost. As long as there's a 3-day turnaround is okay for you, absolutely let them do it. The newsletter is normally up, in a perfect world, the newsletter is updated the first of every month. So it's on my calendar. I pay for a national service that creates that newsletter. And as long as the first day of each month is not crazy for me, I go in there and upload it. And if for any reason it's not by the second of each month, go in and send me a message and I'll get right on it. But if I was you, I would put something in there and it says, hey, on the second or third of every month on my Google Calendar, make it a recurring event that pops up in the morning. It says, send out newsletter. That way it's just a reminder, you get used to it. Habits are a great thing. You go in there and the second of every month, send out the newsletter. And when I used to send out the newsletter, people really got accustomed to it. And they're like, hey, I don't know where the recipe is this month. I make that recipe every single month. And I'm like, well, I thought the recipe was the least important part of that newsletter, but people definitely get accustomed to it and they like different parts. Should you send the newsletter out to everyone? Yes, I'd send it out to everyone. So when I was selling real estate, I sent it out to the title reps I worked with, the lenders, not other real estate agents, but anyone that's remotely in my sphere. So I want to be able to send it out. And I even sent it out to people that moved outside the area. So, they moved down to Tennessee. I'm like, that's great. Congratulations on your move. Oh, by the way, if you ever need something in Tennessee, I can go in and find one of the best agents for you in that area and send you 3 to interview with to kind of take that process out because I want that referral fee. I haven't had a special name for it, a VIP realtor search. I will perform a VIP realtor search for you in your area. I don't know what it made it VIP other than me calling it a VIP. Sounded much better. All right, so right now, take out your calendar, find out when you're going to start working on it, schedule your hour of power, schedule your time and say, I'm going to get into KVCore, I'm going to put people in my database, and I'm going to call X amount per day. I don't care if it's one a day, just get used to it, get in the habit. call one person a day, and in the next 30 days, that means I'll have 30 people in my database, and I'll call 30 people, and you're really going to get a jump start in your real estate career. All right, next we are moving on to the automated process. So over here, we're going to go to marketing autopilot, and we're going to take a look at some of the automated behaviors. I'm going to start with the behavior automation because you have to go in and do this one time. So not super important that you know this forever. You just go in and do it one time. So here's how I recommend it be set up. You can change yours however you like, but I just want the automated behavior set up for my new leads. So when someone is a new lead, I don't know them, we've never met them, it's an online lead that the brokerage firm has sent you or you boosted a property. I want these automated things down here to happen. When they don't visit the site for 14 days and then come back and visit, I want an automated message go out to them that says, welcome back. I think that it's important that you're there when they're there. And people will fall off the face of the earth. They won't look at your emails or site for 30 days. And when they come back, boom, there you are being a very responsive agent because it's all automated. We had one agent who had some online leads, and the reason this person chose him was because of how responsive he was. He never did anything to be responsive. What happened was every time they revisit after 14 days, it sent them a message. They viewed a property 3 times. I love this one, by the way. They viewed a property 3 times and automatic message says, hey, would you like to view it? Every time they favorited a property, it's like, hey, would you like to view it? So the KVCore automation made it feel like he was there. Now your savvy buyers are going to know, hey, this is a automated bot, but a lot of people, it's just like, hey, you're there. It's another touch point. You're top of mind. So when they're thinking real estate, it's like, boom, how easy is it to respond to this email or text and say, yeah, I want to see it, instead of trying to find a number for another agent or asking for a referral. It's right there. So I don't want these things to go out to my sphere. Remember earlier, we turned sphere off. So this is how I have it set up. I turn it all off. So once I start communicating with them, I want it off. I want those personal touches. Once I meet with them, it definitely needs to be off. It needs to be personal touches. And for my personal sphere, I want those to be personal touches. But for online leads, it's hard to convert. Let this nurture them through the process so that they're willing to meet with you. So if it ends up being a phone call where they just call you, it's not going to log it in the system. So then you need to manually come in and maybe change them from a new lead to an active lead, or change them from new lead to a prospect. So it turns those off. If they respond through the system, there's an option up here that says when a new lead responds through the system, move it to active, which is what I have mine set to. And I recommend you do, just because we all forget from time to time. Someone may call me and I'm driving and I pick up the phone. I may forget, and they'll still keep getting all these things because there'll still be a new lead. It's not the worst thing in the world, but they view a property 3 times. And it says, hey, saw you checking it out. Would you like more info? Not the worst thing in the world, but to me, the sooner I move them to personal touches and phone calls and text with me, the better. You're going to be much better than any type of automated system and can bring that lead with the personal touches. So you'll go in here and do this once. I turn new lead on. I turn this on. I turn the top 2 and the bottom 2 on, and I leave these 2 off. I don't want them getting messaged every time they view 5 properties in a day. I don't want it 10 times in the last week. But personal preference, you can set it any way you like. So also in the marketing autopilot, there are smart campaigns. I showed you how to add a campaign from your smart CRM, but this is what it looks like. So I want to go in and show you kind of what that looks like. By default, you should have about 23 in your library already. And I'm just going to sort touches here. So I see the top one. This is a 42 touch campaign. So if you get a new lead from the brokerage firm, or you're boosting a post, as I'm going to show you a little bit, it will automatically assign this 42 touch campaign. So we can click here and take a look and see exactly what it does. So you can see right off the bat, it's going to send a text. So it sends a text to you saying, hey, you have a lead. And then immediately it's going to create a call for you that says, hey, you should call them. And that comes up right here. This should be 0 in a perfect world. Obviously, I don't use this particular one. I do use a different one to manage agents, But if I was selling real estate, this would be 0. When it tells me to call, I'd call. When it tells me to do something, I'd take that task. So you see immediately it says call and leave a voicemail. Day 1 is going to be the next day. It's going to email the contact, which is great. And it says it's automated. It says, hey, are you looking to buy or just browsing? Real easy question, just wants to respond. And it's going to have all your contact info in here. Then on day 2, it's going to tell you to call and don't leave a voicemail. It just wants to see a missed call come up from you. Later on day 2, it's automatically going to come from the agent. So it's coming from you to the contact. And it's going to say, hey, are you an investor or are you going to live there yourself? The whole goal of all of this is just to get them to respond to you. And when they do respond to you, you have one goal in life. It's not to sell them a home at this point. It's to set up a meeting. So set up a meeting at our office, set up a meeting to view them, one of the properties they're seeing. Your goal is just to convert them into an appointment. That's what's going to help you buy and sell a home later. So as you get on through here, if you like these, great. Here's what I'll tell you. Don't spend hours creating your own campaign. KVCore produces over 500,000 leads a month. They've done their A/B testing, and they're really good about converting online leads. The first time you look at this, you're like, well, that's a lot, 42 touches. Well, that's 42 touches over a very long period of time. It's to nurture and keep them there. And many of them are phone calls from you. You see, call and leave message, call and leave message, call and leave message. So this is not 42 texts and emails. So if you have to go in there and clone it, great. Don't spend hours and hours doing it. Don't start it from scratch. But there's just one you hate, and you're like, I really don't like that on day 3, it says call and leave a voicemail. You can go in there and you can clone this. So you clone it and you say, hey, I want it when I lead is new and next. And I want this for buyers, next, and always run yes if you want it for new buyers, or you can say, no, I just want it when I put it in, great. It'll be called copy of this. You can name it whatever you want, specialized. And then you can go in and create it, and then you can edit your own. And you can send that out instead of this default one. Just don't spend hours and hours in here. If you spend hours doing anything, I want you going through training. I want you reaching out to your database. I want you building relationships. Let this technology run on the back end. They do a really good job of converting these online leads. But that's the marketing autopilot by default. There's one in there for sellers. There's one in there for open houses. You can see multiple ones in here. That just depends on, what they're looking at. So here's a homeowner that's a sphere, and there's different ones. So get on through here. If you really want a different one, you can create your own. And this is KVCore 101. There's some different stuff that we're going to do in the next one. So next Friday, we're doing KVCore 202 or whatever the next version would be. And that one, we're going to talk more about automatic birthdays and anniversaries of their house and just some different stuff that will continue to advance it. But first, I just want you to get started, get the contacts in here, get your behavior automation set up, and take a look at the smart campaigns. That is it for the automation behavior. In this one, we're going to be moving on to setting up your website in the next session. So what questions do you have regarding the automated behaviors that we covered? Everybody's quiet. I see nothing in the chat, so we are moving right along. So next, we're going to go set up your website. And again, I think these things, as soon as your license should be done, go in, set up your profile, make sure the automated stuff is set up appropriately so it's not sending out automatic stuff to your sphere that you're uploading. And then you need to make sure your website is set up. I only use mine for training, so hopefully it's somewhat set up. But first thing you want to do is click on Web and IDX on the left-hand side. And then you want to click on your website and make sure it is actually set up. Every once in a while with technology, there's a glitch, but by default, it should come up like this. You'll see a silhouette of you, and if you haven't uploaded your photo yet. But if you upload your photo in your profiles, I'm actually going to come through here. I want to make sure my contact information is correct, and I want to make sure we have houses. So the basic functions are set up of it. That's great. So then what can you do to make your website stand out? And it's one of the things I love about KVCore. we can set up this default website for you in about 5 minutes. Easy peasy done. Or you can also spend hundreds of hours in here and get a programmer in here to completely customize it. So do you want to add custom pages? If so, that's where you do this. Do you want to add different service areas where it's, mikehall.redOneRealty.com/Gahanna/Dublin? You can do that. Do you want your testimonials page in here? If you have a bunch of testimonials, absolutely add your testimonial page. So you can go in, add different blog posts as well. I really believe that we should spend time online. It's not because that's where I think most of your clients are coming from. I am very tech savvy. I love technology, but for selling real estate, you want to build relationships. You want personal message. First, you want in-person meetings. I know it's extremely tough during COVID. Next, you want phone calls, and then it's text, and then it's websites and all that stuff. So take care of the basic stuff, but as you're setting up your website, there's definitely some things I go in and recommend you do. So to do that, you're gonna click on the blue edit settings here in the middle, and you don't have to write all of this down. Remember earlier when I showed you the email that came out? So this part jumps right to what I'm gonna talk about. So just watch, you don't have to take extensive notes. It'll show you how to go back in and jump right to that part. Now I can't remember where I was. All right. Also, KVCore has a lot of its own training as well. So right everywhere you see, there's videos everywhere. There's also a support center over on the left. That's videos everywhere. So I'll just go down through here and show you some things that I'd recommend you change. And then a lot of it's personal preference, so you can change anything you want. So I like the hero layout the best, so I changed that to hero. I don't normally add widgets. You can certainly add widgets. I like the red theme since it's Red One Realty, but if you want a different color, feel free to choose any color. If you have your own team or individual logo, maybe you want the theme to match that, that's great. For me, I like this profile the best, but there's others in here. Some make sense for Central Ohio and obviously some don't. So you can go through here and kind of choose what you want in the background. If you don't like any of them, you can also go in and upload your own. If you do upload your own, it has to be exactly 1600 by 650. So if you don't know how to do that, just use one of the standard ones. I don't think someone's going to use you or not use you because of a background picture on your website. I really don't. If you have a secondary logo, a team logo, your own logo, you could go in, add that here as well. I'm going to recommend you do not use video on your main page. While you guys are going out having fun on Friday nights, I sit at home and watch real estate technology videos. There's a huge update, probably one of the biggest ones that Google's releasing for SEO in years. Take a look at it. And one of the biggest things is how quickly your page loads. Google says if your page isn't loading quick, they're going to index it so much worse. I think it began somewhere around January 25th. So do not put video on your main page. And there's some other widgets you can go down through here and do. I'm just going to hit, the most important ones as we go down through here. The millions mapped, KVCore provides an app that you can send to your clients. I would not hide it. If they want to use your app, I'd much rather them use your app than you going through and them going to Zillow or Realtor.com or anywhere else. And the next KVCore series, we're going to show you how to send that app to your clients. You go down through here. I'm just taking a look at some of these. There's so much that you can choose to change. The mandate phone is very controversial, and I don't think there's a right or wrong answer, but here's the pros and cons. If you say mandate phone no, you're going to get more leads, and more leads is good, but they're not always going to put their phone number in. Alternately, if you say mandate phone yes, the leads you get are all going to have a phone number, but they say up to 30% of people will not fill out the form and they have to put their phone number in. So you can choose, you can run it back and forth, but here's what I'd recommend. I recommend you say mandate phone yes, because on all the lead capture forms, there's an easy option, and you've probably seen it elsewhere in the industry, that says continue with Facebook or continue with Google. If they just say, yeah, continue with Facebook or Google, the fine print says you can get their real contact info. So you get it. So mandate that. Now, if they're going to type it in and they choose not to, you might lose some leads because of that. I think it's less than 30%, but you can choose, run your test and see what you feel is best for you. You can also force them to register, and you have a couple different options here. So forced registration says, hey, on the after the first property, make them register. Don't make them register at all or after a set number of views. I like it after the first property. I want to let them view the first property. As soon as they want to view the second one, I'm showing you that I'm building credibility on my end. You said you want to see homes for sale in Dublin. Here's a home for sale for Dublin. And oh, here's another one. Just give me your contact info. Now, sometimes you're going to get Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck signing up, and you're going to do that. But again, we're looking to try to get a 5 to 6% conversion ratio. That means about 95 out of every 100 you're not getting paid on. But using the system, letting it text and email and you call, we should be getting paid on about 5% of those. The industry average is 2 to 3, and the industry average doesn't use a system like that. The website title, I would make this your name. Your name hyphen Red One Realty. That's what's going to show in the tabs at the top. So it's always great. If you have a programmer and they're like, hey, I want to get in the meta description, I want to add pixels and all that stuff, all that's coming up. So you can go in there and do that, add custom headers, custom body. Again, this all needs to be HTML. You don't need to do anything with this. You don't need pixel conversion codes. But the website is advanced enough. If you start spending over $1,000 a month on online leads and you want to retarget people, you can certainly do all of that in the system. This is where you'll do all of that. And we just had someone the other day, I think, post to our Facebook group that it was Facebook chat from their website. Perfectly easy to do. Go in and add your Facebook username. So mine's facebook.com/broker Mike Hall. That gives them the ability to chat right from your website. I would only do that if you use Facebook Messenger all the time, you have Messenger downloaded to your phone, and you're pretty familiar with doing it. If so, great, add it. If not, leave it off. Contact phone, contact email, make sure that's yours. Hide Zillow testimonials. If you don't have any, yeah, go ahead and hide those. If you don't, go ahead and put them on there, and you need to connect it. Go to Zillow, do it, connect them, easy way, and it'll constantly upload. And it only uploads whenever you have 3 stars or higher. So hopefully you have 5 stars everywhere. You do sometimes have to coach people to give you 5 stars. I would just say, hey, I strive for 5 stars every time. If I send you the Zillow testimonial, will you give me 5 stars? We've all had that client or that teacher that just never gave 100%. So if they say, yeah, you know what, 4 stars, no, 4 stars is not good in our industry. It's 5 stars or nothing. Here's different navigation you can put on there. What do you want it to say? Do you want to see search, sell, finance? Are you writing blogs? You probably don't want the we're hiring or recruiting. So get down through here. You can add different ones. The listing carousel, I don't know the default here, but here's the way I like it. First, I want people to see just listed homes. That's what the consumer wants. They want just listed homes. Then they want price reduced, and then they want open houses. So go in there and start with just listed homes. Just keep going down through here, trying to see if you have your own slogan or tagline, add that there. Types of properties served, just go down through here and take a look and say, hey, what do I want showing? Maybe I want to work with rentals, put that in. If you don't want to work with rentals, take it out. This is what's going to be pulling directly from Flex MLS on your site. I definitely don't want to show the contingent ones. People, because I tell people, if you go to my website, it's not going to show the ones that's in contract. If you're going to Zillow, you're constantly going to be wasting your time asking about this one or that one, and it's in contract. Going down through here, this is a big one. I highly recommend everyone change this default sort. I wish that KVCore didn't do it this way, but by default, they sort it highest to lowest. We'd all love to sell a $5 million home, but let's be honest, there's not too many $5 million buyers out there. So when I have someone go to my website and they're looking for homes for sale in Dublin, I want to sort from lowest to highest. I'm like, yeah, here's $250,000 homes in Dublin and go up versus 5 million and going down. I just think it's a better user experience. Far more people trying to buy a $250,000 home in Dublin than 5 million. I like sorting it by map first. That way they can take a look on the left side and they'll show those, and it will show where they're on the map, and allowing them to go through and just use all the popular options. I think you can put custom ones in here as well, but popular ones, beds, bath, price range, square foot, the typical things that they're going to go in and look for. So you can hit save anywhere on there. You can hit save each time, it doesn't matter. But get in there, play around with your website. If for some reason you get in there and you have completely messed it up, you can also email and chat with KVCore, and you chat right here and you say, hey, I messed up my website. Can you convert it back to default? And they will convert it back to default for you. This chat is nice. Anytime you have something that's not, extremely urgent, chat with them. Normally, I think this says their response time is normally about 20 minutes once they're open. So yeah, under 20 minutes. If it's not urgent, it's something they'll get back to you. And if you leave the chat, it comes through as an email to you whenever they answer that. That is all I have on the web and IDX. What questions, comments, complaints do you have regarding the web and IDX? Everybody's very quiet. The last two is really going to be the nuggets that you guys can take with you today that you can go out and implement to build your business. So the first thing is going to be sending the newsletter. Sending the newsletter in KVCore is simple. You're going to go to your smart CRM. Hopefully by the end of this month, you guys all have at least 30 people in here. Some of you will have hundreds of people in here. Both are certainly okay. But when you get in here, you're going to drop this down to 100. So you can send out 100 at a time. Someone was telling me there's a way to send out more. I like sending out 100 at a time. It keeps you from getting in the promotions folder, keeps it from being spam. So click all of them. So I'm sending out 100 at a time. And then I'm going to click on mass email. Once I'm in here, the template, I'm just going to type in newsletter. So a lot of people click this, and I don't want you to click that unless you want to create your own. If you want to create your own newsletter, you certainly can, but I don't think it's a good use of your time. I think you should spend your time building relationships. So get out and find the newsletter. I need to go remove a lot of these old ones. I'm going to remove them all except the 2021. But you come in here and say, send out the newsletter. Let me move this camera around. So then anything that's inside these parentheses is going to automatically pull from your profile. That's why we started that first. You need your profile set up. So it's going to pull your agent photo and put it here. It's going to pull your name, your cell phone, your email, and your website and put it all here. It's all branded to you. We want to make it very easy. And then there's some different items here that we just send it out. People love quizzes. They want to do that. There's always then an ask the agent portion. And it's like, hey, what is title insurance? Good information for them. And every month's obviously different. This comes from a national newsletter writer. And it says, what's mistakes a first-time home buyer makes. Free guide about selling your home. All of the free guides are in our Facebook group. So if you go to our Facebook group, you're able to go in and see all of these. They're all uploaded there. Just different things. I don't know what it is about trees, but they try to put something that's not just real estate related. There's always a recipe, as I mentioned earlier. Does not do that. This is a great one about decluttering, downsizing. Every time in my career I ever helped someone declutter and downsize, it never lasts long. I helped someone downsize, and they're like, yeah, we really want to downsize. They had a 2,800 square foot home. They downsized to 2,500. I'm like, that was an awful lot of work to downsize by 300, but people have a hard time downsizing. So it gives them some tips. Again, some non-real estate things. And then at the bottom, it's always going to have your signature. So that's why we definitely want your signature set up in your profile as well. Go to Wisestamp, get that set up for Gmail, and just copy and paste that over from Gmail. So once you do that, if you do have hundreds of people in there, I don't want to send it, but if you have hundreds of people in there, you can do each one in less than a minute and then come over here and click next and then do the same thing for the next 100. I'd much rather see you do that. That way you have a better chance of getting in their inbox. If you're trying to send out 1,000 at a time, and if I have 1,400 people in here, you definitely don't want to be able to go in and send those out via mass emails. You're definitely going to promotions. You're definitely going to spam. It's going to be much tougher for you to get in that inbox. Are any of you using the newsletter? Do any of you send it out currently? Any questions on sending out the newsletter? Perfect. Well, hopefully you can go in, easily send that out to your clients now. And we are going to jump into the last thing in KVCore 101 here today, and that is a property boost. I think all of you, if you're taking a look, you should start with your sphere. Call your sphere, reach out to your sphere, meet your sphere. Next, for new agents, I recommend open houses. Now, open houses in COVID is definitely different, but assuming we're in a normal world, those are the best two things you can do for return on investments. Nurture your sphere and do open houses. Next, we're going to recommend online leads, and that's basically paying for leads from the internet. And the conversion ratio is much lower than the other two. So you need to quickly be able to go in and say, hey, what's the lowest cost per lead that I can find? And then take a look at the conversion ratio on those leads. And one of the best cost per leads that you can find right now is boosting a property. Right now in this market, there are no properties. There is the most limited inventory I've ever seen in my career. So people care about homes. So if you have a new home that you can market, that's one of the best things to do to get leads right now. So at Red One Realty, you can go in and market any Red One Realty listing to the public as long as it's on the MLS. So I'm going to show you how to go to Flex. I'm going to show you how to find those and how to go in and boost that property in just a couple minutes. If you're spending hours and hours on online leads, it needs to be because your other things are taken care of first. You're taking care of your sphere. You're taking care of building those relationships, and now you're moving on to the next phase. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to Flex MLS. And when we're in Flex MLS, we want to go to Quick Search. And I like to take these down and just use the active listings. And then I'm going to scroll down here to member, and you can see with 8,000 agents, there's only 1,700 active listings. It's the fewest I've ever seen. It is so hard to help a buyer get a property right now. But if you scroll down, there's going to be a green plus sign, and you'll come down the green plus sign, and you're just going to type in member. And then we want listing selling office. That will add it over here on the left-hand side. And I want to type in Red One. And find. And I want to find Red One Realty. And I just want it where we're the listing agent or listing office. And I want to go in and find one of the properties. So let's just take a look at this property here. It is indeed an active listing. I'm going to try to copy part of this. It doesn't like copying and pasting well, but here's the property address. You should go in and find out some information about this property if you're running an ad. That way, if someone calls you, it says, hey, how long has it been on the market, etc. If you want to be in a specific area, great, choose that area. Otherwise, I'm going to recommend you choose a property closer to the average. So the average price point in your area, if it's 250, try to find one near 250. Try to find one new to the market. Go in, take a look, learn a little bit of information about the property. And then we're going to go over and we're going to boost this property through KVCore. So that is 7853 Adore Court. Anytime you're going to spend money in KVCore, think about Marketplace. Marketplace is money. We're going to go in and we're going to spend some money. So we're going to go through and we're going to look for the Green Core Property Boost. The first time you're in there, you're going to have to sign in. No big deal. Basically, just link it to your KVCore account. Once you do that, you're going to click Enter Property Address. You're going to type in the property address. It's best if you type it, but regardless, it has to come up in a green drop-down list. You select it there and click on Use Selected Listing. And then that's really it. You enter your credit card number and you're done. So you don't need to spend a ton of time in here boosting properties and getting online leads. So you can also do it for if you're going to do an open house for a property, notify price reducing. But let's just say this is a listing. It's going to pull from the MLS. It's automatically going to put the form out there on Facebook. These leads will be coming from Facebook. It's going to automatically target the audience for you. You don't have to do anything. I remember years ago, I had to create the picture of myself and create the pixels right and link it and do everything. It would take me 45 minutes to go in and do it from start to finish before Facebook started getting easier and programs like KVCore would do it for me. Now I think you can do it in 45 seconds. It's just so much better. I recommend 1 week for $60. In this market, a lot of times, the properties just aren't around for 2 and 3 weeks. So do 1 week, $60, and say, hey, let me go in and see how many leads I can get for $60. And then you want to calculate your cost per lead. So the National Association of Realtors says, hey, if your cost per lead is below $10, that's pretty good. Your national coaches across the country say, hey, if you're getting a $6 cost per lead, that's what I'm going to help you do as a national level coach. That's why you pay me $750 an hour. I can tell you in KVCore, if it's a brand new property just hitting the market in the last couple of days, around the $250,000 price point, we're seeing leads around $3 per lead. And that's fantastic. So let's say you spend $3 per lead, that's going to get you about 20 leads. To get to 100 of them, that's $300 to get to 100 leads. So the question is it worthwhile to you to get to 100 leads for $300, where at minimum you should be converting 2 or 3 of those? So don't get frustrated with the no's. Just say, hey, if I can convert 2 or 3 out of every 100, if I spent $300, on average, I make $6,000 when I sell a home. That's a pretty good return on investment. And you don't have to spend a lot of time doing it. You get in here quick, you send it out quick, and you go back to working your relationships. So that's what I love about KVCore. It really helps with that back end technology part. So you're not spending hours hiding behind a computer whenever you can go out there and really build your business. And that's it. You put your information in and you boost it. So real simple, real easy. Go to Flex MLS, get your address, go to KVCore. On the left-hand side, click on Marketplace, Core Property Boost, address, select it from the drop-down, enter your credit card, and then you're going to get text notifications every time that you have a new lead come up. They're also automatically going to be able to go in and so when it comes in from KVCore, they're automatically getting that first-time buyer, that 42 touch program. So it's going to text them, it's going to email them, and it's going to prompt you to call them. And if you call them when it tells you to, instead of 2 or 3%, you should be able to get up closer to 5%. Let me take a look at the questions here. And then this is the last thing that we're talking about in KVCore 101. So if you have general questions regarding KVCore, I'm going to go ahead and cut the recording